Hi and welcome to this week's very special episode of The Act. The reason why it's special is because we only need 2 dice. And the reason why we only need 2 is because we don't need this one. Was going to chuck it, but I know they're not cheap. We don't need the value dice because the value of this act will be £4.99. Unbelievable, £4.99. And that is because I'm going to create the act by using nothing other than the tricks that are taught on the Unlimited platform. So here we go. I'll give them a little shake. Actually, shall I do them separately first? Stage.
Nice.
No mentalism. That's going to be a hard one, isn't it?
Good luck.
Right. Stage no mentalism. Let's go and have a look. Right. So here I am. We're looking at Unlimited. And do you know what? I will say that there's a lot of, having the no mentalism was a bit of a curveball for me because I think mentalism is just not easy to fit in, but there's a lot of routines nowadays that are mentalism. So I'm gonna go in reverse. I'm gonna look for maybe a couple of coin tricks that I can do. Now I've got an idea in my mind, but I would want to start with something different to coins. Okay, so I want to get something that's engaging to the audience. And also I've got an idea for the second routine. I'm going to need 2 people up on stage. So I think this is going to work and it should structure nicely. So the aim of doing these acts is to create maybe a 10 or 15 minute act. And usually when you have a stage spot, unless you're putting together your whole stage show, your spot is usually 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, at a max, most probably 20 minutes, but usually 10 to 15. So this would fit that criteria perfectly. So if we go into here, I'm going to click on Stage Magic here. Now, one of the tricks that sprung to mind as an opener was Tom Peterson's Revenge of the Spoon, which is a fantastic routine. Now, Revenge of the Spoon is, it's sort of a spoon bend, but not using a spoon, it's using a drawing of a spoon where they sign a bit of paper, you fold the paper and the spoon ends up bent. But I'm not gonna go for that, even though that was on my list. So what I am gonna go for as an opener, and I'll tell you for why. Let me go back here. I'm gonna go into Creators, and we are gonna click on my old mate, wherever he is, the old WG, Wayne Goodman. So I'm gonna click on here, and this will bring us up. Now, a few of these would have been great, to be fair, but the one I'm going to go for is Professor's Nightmare. And I'll tell you for why. For one, it's a phenomenal effect. Anyway, Professor's Nightmare is just such a great effect, and it's a right audience pleaser. For 2, I can toss out the ropes at the beginning. It gets the audience involved, they're examining things, and it's a beautiful piece of magic, which is great, anyway, very visual. But more importantly, for the effect that I'm going to do second, it will work really well because after the ropes, I'm going to need 2 people up on stage with me. So after the ropes have gone back to normal size, I can toss out 2 of the ropes to be examined and say, and they are regular, they don't come apart, they don't stretch, they don't shrink. No, that's great. Can you bring them back up on stage for me? Now, they're going to come back up on stage and you've got your 2 spectators there.
Hi, I'm Wayne Dobson, and today I'm going to show you the very first trick that I learned when I was about 11, 12 years old. So I was taught a trick, and then I went away with a book and I learned a trick, and this is the actual trick. It's very, very simple. It uses 3 pieces of rope. Now, I'm going to show you the rope. This isn't the presentation I do all the time, but sometimes. The first piece of rope is very, very long. Now, I'm on my own here in the studio, apart from Jamie's at the back. I'm going to get Jamie to join in. So, the first piece of rope, Mr. Jamie, is very, very long. In fact, it's as long as my body. Give me an ooh. Ooh, the second piece of rope is medium size, as long as my arm. Say ah. And the third piece of rope is very small and is as long as it needs to be. Now, I want you to watch this very, very closely. We've got the small piece of rope, we've got the medium sized piece of rope, and we've got the long piece of rope. When I do this for children, they're wiggly worms, or I do for road safety shows, stop, look and listen. But today we're just going to use 3 pieces of rope. Now I'm going to take the long piece of rope and I'm going to put it to the top. I'm going to take the ends of the small piece of rope and I'm going to put it to the top, and I'm going to take the ends of the medium-sized piece of rope and I'm going to put it to the top. Now it's a bit confusing because you've got 3 ends here, 3 ends here, and you can't, if I do that, you can't really tell which end belongs to which piece of rope. But you can tell because of the middles. You can see the small piece, you can see the medium-sized piece, and you can see the long piece dangling down. So we've got the small piece, we've got the medium-sized piece, and we've got the long piece. But watch this, if I gather them up and keep them separate and blow, when I blow on the rope, all 3 pieces of rope begin to change until they're all exactly the same size. Check it out. We have got 1, 2 and 3. We have the small piece of rope, which the person over here checked before the show. We've got the medium-sized piece of rope, which the person over here checked before the show. And we've got the long piece of rope, exactly the same. Now check it out, because I'm going to gather the ends together. Now this time it's a little bit easier, because if I put the ends together like this now, you can see the ends here, you can see the ends here, and you can see the middles are all in one place. Because when I click my fingers, that everything happens. You see, this is not an optical illusion. It just looks like one. But if I click my fingers like that and give it a little shake, everything goes back. You snap out of the hypnosis. You suddenly realise that the ropes aren't all the same size, and that they are in fact 3 different sized pieces of rope. All you've got to do is look carefully, because when you look really, really carefully and you see the middles and you see the ends, you will see that we're right back where we started, with a small piece of rope, a medium-sized piece of rope, and a very, very long piece of rope. Thank you very much, and there we go.
So the next trick I am going to do in my set is, if we go back to, I think it's in Stage Magic, we are going to go for an effect called, let me have a look up here, I thought it was in Coin, but there it is, Solid Silver by Andrew Normansole.
Okay, moving rapidly along in this melange of curiosity. Here we go. And how weird is that? In fact, this gentleman, your name is? Trevor. Trevor, nice to see you. Trevor, you want to wander this way? Avoiding the camera and all the wires. On the way. Perfect. It's a 1,000-seat theatre and you have to sit there. Okay, never mind. Nice to see you. Nice round of applause just as Trevor wanders this way. Absolutely super. Nice to see you, sir. And bet your garden's lovely, isn't it? It is. Somebody's joking. Someone else as well. Let's use Linda one more time. You were so good before. Nice round of applause one more time. Just as Linda wanders this way. Nice to see you one more time. Super. Thank you very much indeed. Now the idea is I'm going to try and experiment. We need some coins for this. In fact, you have 4 £2 coins, Trevor.
I don't know.
No? It's lucky I brought mine then, isn't it? Okay, now the interesting part about this is I'm going to cause one of these coins to travel all the way across, somewhat like this. In fact, I'm sorry about the purse, by the way. I know what you must be thinking, but I'm not really. It does match the suit rather nicely though, doesn't it? And in fact, I will be honest with you, this is actually a gift from my wife. In fact, I said to my wife, I said, Harry. So I'm going to do that boring old coin trick. The one at the end of it, everyone looks like this. Oh, you've seen it? Okay. Now the idea is hopefully one of these coins will travel magically all the way across, up my sleeve, right across my chest, all the way down this sleeve and land in your hand, Linda. If I could do that, would you think that was good? Excellent. So lend me your hand just for a second. Perfect. Oh, by the way, you're going on a very long journey as well, I've got to tell you that.
Oh, I hope so.
Now hold it somewhere about here, that's perfect. Just hold it flat. That's good. Now the idea is one of these coins will travel all the way very, very quickly. In fact, Trevor, I'm going to do this. In fact, just say go.
Go.
That's when the first one does. It travels all the way up my sleeve, right across my chest, down this sleeve, and lands right about here. That's the general idea. There's number one. Thank you. And just to sort of moving things along, I'm going to do the same thing with number two. In fact, number two will travel in a very, very similar way, all the way across here and land right with this one right here. Are you ready for number two? I'll do it again one more time. Here we go. Coin number two travels all the way across, somewhat like this, all the way. Sometimes it gets stuck halfway, but it does actually work. There's number two. Thank you very much indeed. And the same again with number three. Do you want to see it go invisibly or visibly, Linda?
Invisibly.
Okay. It's entirely up to you. What would you have said?
Visibly.
Okay, good. I'll do it visibly for you, and then I'll do it invisibly later. In fact, visibly, it will travel all the way across, somewhat like this. Travels all the way across, just like this. That's the way that it works. Okay. And land right here with these three. In fact, I'm going to do the final one, invisibly or visibly?
Invisibly.
Invisibly, okay. Invisibly, it will travel all the way across, somewhat like this. And lands right here with these three. Can you see it there? You did say invisibly.
If you want me to.
Okay, I'm going to joke. I'll do it for real this time. In fact, invisibly, it will travel all the way across it. Here we go. That's the general idea. Here we go. And lands with these three. Yes, indeed. Now, the hardest part is to make it go all the way back. Make it travel all the way back by simply doing this. And unbelievably, it travels all the way back. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. If you'd have said visibly, by the way, it looks something like this. Lands right here. I'll do it for real. Do you want to see me do it for real?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take one away. If I take one away from four, Linda, how many does that leave?
3.
Okay, I'm going to take one away. Shut your hand very tightly over those three for me. Turn your hand this way. Hold it somewhere about here. Perfect. Now, the final one's kind of interesting, Trevor. Do you want to see it go invisibly or visibly?
Invisibly.
Invisibly. Just say go.
Go.
That's when it does. In fact, it travels all the way across. In fact, when you open your hand and you've got all four there, that'd be an absolute miracle, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, open your hand. And everyone will go wild with applause. Rounding 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's fantastic. And you can drop them back into the purse. That's absolutely superb. As you can take your seat. I'll thank you one more time. Thank you very much indeed. One more time.
Now, years ago, we released a free DVD set by Andy Normansell. One of them was on close-up, I believe, one on stage, one on mentalism. Now, I believe the material on these DVDs is super solid, really, really solid. Now, these DVDs came out so many years ago that I think, you know, the contents have long since been forgotten. So I'm really pleased that they're actually coming on to Unlimited. Now, I will say these were filmed years ago, like a lot of these videos. So, you know, some of the humour might be different and the way the spectators are managed might be different. But that doesn't take away from how strong the routines are. Now, this solid silver is most probably one of my favourite coin routines, which is 8 coins across, but it's done on stage with 2 spectators. So I think this will be great, and it will lead in perfectly to probably one of my favourite effects of all time, which I will be using to close with for this act. Now, bearing in mind, for my coins across, I use 3 coins. And but you can use 4 coins. I'm not sure what Andy uses in his, but whatever my final routine would require, that's the amount of coins I would use. And I'm going to go into coin magic. I'm going to finish with a coin effect, and we're going to go for this. Michael Vincent's slot machine.
Now, in the last few months since I last saw you, I've done a fair bit of traveling actually, and I paid a visit to the gambling capital of the world, Las Vegas. How many of you have been here? Been to Vegas? You've been there? Did you play the machines? Not at all? You're not a gambling person? Roulette. Just the roulette wheels. Well, I thought I couldn't go to Vegas and not at least try my hand on the slot machine, and you know what? I thought I'd give it a go. So I placed one of my coins into the machine. And if you can use your imagination, grab the handle and pull, and I watch the wheels of fortune spin. You're not going to believe it, an orange, a strawberry, a cherry and a lime. So much for beginner's luck. Right, so I thought, you know, I better try this again. Popped it in there, watch very closely. Okay, grab the handle. Slight improvement, 2 strawberries, a lemon and an orange. It's the first time I got applause for losing money. Anyway, I was down to my last 50. Popped it in there, grabbed the handle. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 cherries, and you know what that means, don't you? Oh, jackpot. There you go.
Now, this, I saw Michael perform this many years ago. I believe it was on a television show. I might be wrong, but I'm sure it was. And I fell in love with this routine. I think everything about it is pure perfection. I think the presentation is captivating. It's understandable to everyone. The visuals of the routine using the magic wand as the one-armed bandit, I think makes perfect sense. And I believe the vanishes are, first of all, they catch you really off guard. But secondly, they're really, they just make perfect sense to the routine. And the final reveal, once again, makes perfect sense to the routine, but you just do not see it coming. It really catches you off guard. And it's one of those, if you're going to close with a routine, to do that, bump, 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 and we got cherry, 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 cherry. And that was the moment I was leaving the casino. And the moment I'm leaving the stage, ladies and gentlemen, I hit the jackpot. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Peter Nardi, and I hope to see you again soon. And then you open your hand, tip the coins into the glass, and what a beautiful way to end your little show. So that's it, $4.99. You've got a 10 to 15 minute act comprising of Wayne Goodman's Professor's Nightmare, Solid Silver by Andy Normansell, and we're going to finish off with Michael Vincent and the Slot Machine. 3 solid effects would be perfect for any little magic spot. All strong routines, all pretty easy to do, in all fairness. They will take practice, but pretty easy to do. But that would be a solid routine you should be proud to perform. So Unlimited gives you so many options, and I really hope you enjoy this act and join us next week for another episode of Alakazam's The Act.